good afternoon. I'm David Drake, and we had St. Patrick's Day this week, so I figure we're not too late to sing some songs about St. Patrick's Day. So let me first check, how many of you actually are Irish?
A little bit.
1, 2, 3. Okay, that's not bad. So for all the rest of you, you get to be Irish this week. We're all out on the old railroad and we're all out on the sea. We're all good friends of Ireland, the best that you will see. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Now the hardest job I ever done was working on a train. Takes a good strong Irish back, but it don't take too much brains. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Whiskey's good on Saturday, it's twice as good on Sunday. If you give me half a chance, I'll have some more on Monday. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Now if we were in an Irish pub, you'd all be singing along about now. Of course you'd all be drunk too, so can't help with that part. But anytime you feel like singing along on any of these songs, you go right ahead. Now I wish I was a shamrock or a lucky four-leaf clover. All the fine young lassie girls would come to look me over. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. So put you on a coat of green, kiss the Blarney Stone, have a glass of Guinness stout, and Ireland is your home. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Sing and turn, laugh and play, we're all Irish today. Thank you. Well, it says right in that song that if you're not Irish, then put on a green coat and have a glass of Guinness stout, and you get to be Irish. That's sort of like a transfusion. Well, there's a song about that, Guinness. You've heard of General Wellington who won at Waterloo. Now there's a fine old general I will mention unto you. He comes from dear old Dublin, he's a name we all applaud, for he always finds a corkscrew far more handy than a sword. He's good old General Guinness, he's a soldier strong and stout. He's known on every bottle front, he can't be done without. His noble name, his worldwide fame, deserves 3 hearty cheers. Hurrah for General Guinness of the Dublin Boozleers. This hale and hearty warrior is worshipped in the ranks, for he does his task within a cask as well as in the tanks. He shows his proof on every front, north, south, east, and west. He wears about 10 million canteen medals on his chest. He's good old General Guinness, he has won the world's applause. It's he that keeps us smiling in the midst of all these wars. Who was the first to dance with Mademoiselle from Amateur? Why, good old General Guinness of the Dublin Boozleers. All over bonny Scotland, the general he is seen. He even has the liberty of the town of Aberdeen. From Inverness to Gallowsmead, he keeps us warm and bright, and we love to flock around him, on every moonlit night. He's good old General Guinness, he's as good as Scottish broth. Was he that turned the Firth of Forth unto the Firth of Froth? The Scotsmen dance the Highland fling and shout when he appears. Hurrah for General Guinness of the Dublin Boozleers. General Guinness. Well, how many of you have been to Irish Fest here in Milwaukee?
No.
Nope, haven't been. It's the world's biggest Irish festival. Bigger even than a festival in Ireland, which is pretty cool. You know, right here in Milwaukee we have the largest festival in the world of Irish music. And for about 25 years, I performed at Irish Fest as a troubadour. A troubadour is somebody that walks around singing songs for people. And I had my guitar and I had a pair of green tights, and I would wander around singing for people. Well, they don't hire me to do that anymore. I can't imagine why they don't want a 72-year-old guy running around in green tights. Yeah, I don't see a problem. But anyhow, my job there was to be a troubadour. And there's a little song about that. I wish I had a troubadour sitting by my knee, playing stately rhythms of the ancient balladry. If I had a troubadour, I'd signal with my hand, and he would sing for you until you smile. I wish I had a castle clown with bells upon his hat, doing tricks and somersaults. You'd have to laugh at that. If I had a castle clown, I'd call him to your side, and he'd do tricks for you, and I would sing for you until you smile. I wish I had a wind, I'd bring it by, a gentle western wind to dry your eye, and a southern wind to keep you from your crying. I'm still trying. I wish I had a royal ballet to summon at my will, dancing in the candlelight to some lovely old quadrille. And if I had a royal ballet, I'd signal with a nod, and they would dance for you, and we'd do tricks for you, and I would sing for you until you smile. That's a little song about being a troubadour. Well, that song was written right here in America, because there really are two kinds of Irish songs that you hear around St. Patrick's Day. You hear actual traditional songs that came from the island of Ireland. And you also hear what are called Boston Irish songs, and those are songs written in America by American songwriters for Irish audiences. This next song is an actual traditional song, and it sings about a guy by the name of Johnny Dew, and Johnny Dew is a troubadour, except that's a French word. If he was actually in Ireland, they would call him a beggarman, which gives you kind of an idea of how much musicians make. I am a little beggar man, a beggar I'm meant for 30 more on this little island green. I'm known from the Liffey down to Seguin. I'm known by the name here of old Johnny Dew. Of all the trades going now, begging is the best. When a man is tired, he can lay down to rest. Beg for your supper, for there's nothing else to do. Only cut around the corner with an old brigadoo. I slept in a barn way out in Troubadour, a wet night came on, and I slept until the dawn. The holes in the roof and the rain leaking through. The cats and the rats, they were playing peekaboo. Who should arrive but the woman of the house in her white spotted apron and her calico blouse? She began to frighten and I said, boo, you don't be afraid, man, it's only Johnny Dew. I met a little flaxy-haired girl one day. Good morning, little flaxy-haired girl, I would say. Good morning, little beggar man, and how do you do? With your rags and your tags and your old brigadoo. Buy a pair of leggings and a collar and a tie, and a fine young lady I will get by and by. Buy a pair of goggles and color them blue. An old-fashioned lady I will make her do. It's over the hills with my pack on the back, over the hills with my great heavy sack, with the holes in my shoes and my toes are peeking through. Skinnamarink doodle and it's old Johnny Dew. Must be going to bed for it's getting late at night. The fire's all raked and I'll close the light. And I'll sing a song on my old brigadoo, saying goodbye, God be with you, it's only Johnny Dew. Now that's a song that really comes from Ireland. Now, when this music and the Irish people came here to America, American songwriters heard it and decided to write songs in the same style. So when you got to those music halls back around the turn of the century in Boston and in New York, you'd start hearing songs that sounded Irish, but they actually were written right here. Something like, oh, my name is McNamara, I'm the leader of the band. And though you a number, we're the finest in the land. We play at wakes and weddings and at every fancy ball. But when we play at funerals, we play the martial song. The drums go banging, the cymbals clanging, the horns they blaze away. McCarthy bumps the old bassoon and I the pipes to play. Tennessee, Tennessee, to the front, and music is something grand. A tribute to Ireland is McNamara's band. Now we have been rehearsing for a very fine affair. An annual celebration of the gentry will be there. When General Grant to Ireland came, he took me by the hand. He said, I've never seen the likes of McNamara's band. The drums go banging, the cymbals clanging, the horns they blaze away. McCarthy bumps the old bassoon and I the pipes to play. Tennessee, Tennessee, to the front, and music is something grand. A tribute to old Ireland is McNamara's band. And I'm playing this song on a banjo. And a lot of people don't think twice about that. You hear a lot of banjos in Irish music. But you know where banjos actually come from? Africa. Came to America in the slave trade. The Scottish and the Irish picked up on it and put it into their music. Things like bluegrass music, which is like folk music, but it's a lot faster. The drum go banging, the cymbals clanging, the horns that blaze away. McCarthy bumps the old bassoon and I the pipes to play. Tennessee, Tennessee, to the front, and music is something grand. A tribute to old Ireland is McNamara's band. So a lot of folks from Ireland wound up here in America, and they went to places like Australia, Africa, Mexico, Canada, all over the place. And the reason they had to get out of Ireland, especially in the 1860s and 1880s, is they had a potato famine there. And basically what happened was the potato crop got a blight, and half the crop didn't make it. So the people were starving. Now it's not that the Irish didn't know how to grow food. They knew how to grow wheat, they knew how to grow barley, all of that stuff. Except the land was owned by English landlords who took the wheat and the barley and the other food and sold it back in England and only left the Irish the potatoes to eat. So when the potatoes failed, they were in big trouble. And one of the things you can do then is get the heck out and come to places like America. Well, some of them didn't go as far as America. Some of them only maybe got as far as London, England. And you'd think, well, why would they go to London? I mean, these are the folks that are taking the food away. Except they were told that in London, you could dig for gold.
Oh my.
Yeah. You know what that actually meant? It meant you could dig ditches, and at the end of a month, they'd give you a gold piece. So this is a song about a young Irishman who goes to London to try this digging for gold and finds out what the story is. And he writes back to his sweetheart back in Morin, back in Ireland, to tell her what's actually going on. This instrument I'm playing is called a dulcimer. Dear Mary, this London's a beautiful sight. There's people here working by day and by night. They don't sow potatoes, nor barley, nor wheat, but there's gangs of them digging for gold in the street. At least when I asked them, that's what I was told. So I'll just try my hand at this digging for gold. But for all that I found here, I rather would be where the mountains of Moran sweep down to the sea. Remember young Patrick O'Loughlin, of course. Well, he's here, and he's now at the head of I saw him this morning. He was crossing the Strand, and he stopped the whole street with one wave of his hand. And as we stood talking of times that are gone, the whole population of London looked on. But for all his great power, he's wishing like me to be where dark Moran sweeps down to the sea. Now there's beautiful girls here, well never you mind, with beautiful shapes nature never designed, and lovely complexions, all roses and cream. But O'Loughlin says this regarding the same, that if at those roses you venture to sip, why the color might all come away on your lips. So I'll wait for the wild rose who's waiting for me, where the mountains of Moran sweep down to the sea. Yes, I'll wait for the wild rose who's waiting for me, where the mountains of Moran sweep down to the sea. I can just see this young man singing to his sweetheart. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You can search anywhere, none can compare with my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. Someday for my sake, she may let me take the blue from my wild Irish rose. Well, there's no doubt those Irish girls are pretty. I mean, with the long red hair and the blue eyes. Of course, you can thank the Swedes and the Danes for that, because when the Vikings invaded Ireland, that's where the red hair and blue eyes came from. But this is kind of a silly song about how fine those Irish ladies are. As I walked out one May morning to take a pleasant air, I spied a pretty girl walking there with roses in her hair. I walked right up to her and said, "Pretty girl, I think you're grand." She answered me and said, "Of course, I come from Ireland." "Polly, Molly, do I, oh, I come from Ireland." "That's very nice, I'm sure," I said, "you do the country proud. How would you like to take a walk somewhere beyond the crowd?" She said that was a pleasant thought. We began to roam. Soon we reached a building grand where this girl made her home. "Polly, Molly, do I, oh, I do," where this girl made her home. She asked me to take off my coat and rest myself a while. She stepped into another room, which caused me for to smile. She soon came back to where I sat. She didn't keep me long. Sitting down beside me said, "I think I'll sing a song." "Polly, Molly, do I, oh, I diddle-I-dee, I think I'll sing a song." So the girl began to sing in a voice both loud and clear. She sang of dear old Ireland, the country she held dear. She sang me songs I never heard. She learned them from her mother. And when one song was finished, she'd start off with another and another and another and another. "Polly, Molly, do I, oh, I diddle-I-dee all day." She'd start off with another. The hours went quickly passing by till daylight all was gone. The nighttime fell around us, still she sang right on. When the morning came at last, I said I have to go. It's been a very pleasant time, and now this much I know. Ireland had leprechauns, she suffered many wrongs. Ireland has peat-bog mires, and an awful lot of songs. Holly Bolly do whack do I oh, and an awful lot of songs. Well, Ireland is an island, which means if you want to get out of there, you're going to have to go on a boat. And awful lot of Irishmen became fishermen and sailors, because when you're surrounded by an ocean, that's what you do. I'm wearing an Irish fisherman's sweater, and these were kind of unique back in the day. It seems that every different village had its own weaving pattern for these sweaters. And the reason for that was kind of like a life insurance policy. If you were a sailor and you fell overboard and they found you, they could tell from the weave of your sweater where you're from. Isn't that neat?
Wow.
And the other part of it is you always see sailors wearing an earring. Well, that wasn't a style statement. The reason the sailors wore an earring was because if somebody found you and could tell what village you were from and sent you home for a decent burial, you got to keep the earring. That was payment for doing that. So, I mean, a lot of these things that, you know, nowadays at Halloween or something, people are going, oh yeah, you know, they're wearing an eye patch and an earring, and like, there was a real reason for doing that back in the day. Well, one of the other things that sailors would do is sing while they were doing work. If you were pumping out the ship or hauling up the anchor or maybe raising the sails, you'd sing a song, because singing the song kept everybody together on the beat. You know, if you're pulling on a line at different times, it doesn't work so good. So this is an old Irish sail raising halyard song. The halyard is the line you pull to raise up a sail. And if you want to get some exercise, you can try this too, but given that you've got some goodies,
We'll do
don't try this with the goodies in your hand. Okay. We're bound for Dublin Town this morn, now haul down me billies. In Dublin Town, it's where I was born, boys, haul down Billy O'Shea. We're Dublin born and Dublin bred, boys, haul down me billies. We're thick in the arm and thick in the head, boys, haul down Billy O'Shea. It's haul down, haul down, haul down me billies. Haul down for Dublin City. Haul down Billy O'Shea. Dublin pubs, they are so fine now. Haul down me billies. With their Irish stout and their Spanish wine, boys, haul down Billy O'Shea. And Dublin girls, they are so fair now. Haul down me billies. With their shining eyes and their long red hair, boys, haul down Billy O'Shea. It's haul down, haul down, haul down me billies. Haul down for Dublin City. Haul down Billy O'Shea. In Dublin Town lives Molly Malone, boys, haul down me billies. Molly's the one I would make my own, boys, haul down Billy O'Shea. And Molly Malone has a fishing cart, boys, haul down me billies. It's Molly Malone has a won my heart, boys, haul down Billy O'Shea. It's haul down, haul down, haul down me billies. Haul down for Dublin City. Haul down Billy O'Shea. But Molly Malone, she caught the fever. Haul down me billies. The Dublin doctors could not save her. Haul down Billy O'Shea. Now Molly's ghost, she walks the streets now. Haul down me billies. And haunts the sailors of the Dublin fleet, boys. Haul down Billy O'Shea. It's haul down, haul down, haul down me billies. Haul down for Dublin City. Haul down Billy, belay. Belay means you're done, tie it off. Well, that song mentions a lady by the name of Molly Malone. And has anybody been to Dublin? No? You have? Did you get down by the docks of the Liffey and See the statue down there?
I don't
Cut.
remember exactly.
I'm not sure how recent the statue is, but down at the docks on the river, there is now a statue of Molly Malone. And I think that's pretty cool because, I mean, after all, how many characters out of a folk song get a statue? So I'm going to sing that song about Molly Malone, and you might remember this from the 1950s. It was kind of popular back then. I'm going to play it on a sailor's instrument that we call a concertina. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set the eyes on sweet Molly Malone. She wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, oh, alive, alive, oh. Singing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, oh, alive, alive, oh. Singing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She was a fishmonger, and sure it was no wonder, so were her mother and father before. They wheeled the wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, oh, alive, alive, oh. Singing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, oh, alive, alive, oh. Singing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She died of the fever and no one could save her. That was the end of sweet Molly Malone. Her ghost wheels a barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, oh, alive, alive, oh. Singing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, oh, alive, alive, oh. Singing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Now, folk songs change over time, and in the 1960s there was a comedian by the name of Alan Sherman who decided to write a new verse to this song. It goes like this. She wheels her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow. Her barrow is narrow, but Molly is wide. Whenever she wheels it, the neighborhood feels it. Her girdle keeps scraping the walls on each side. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, my Molly stands out 'cause she weighs 18 stone. I don't mind her fat butt, it's not only that, but she's cockeyed and muscle-bound, Molly Malone. Well, that's kind of a silly take on the song. It's interesting, though, in Irish music, in a lot of the songs, the people don't get out alive. And, gee, a lot of stuff happened in Ireland over the years. I mean, it's one of the oldest civilizations around, goes back thousands of years. It was the furthest outpost of the Roman Empire. And that's why when Rome fell to the Vandals, there were monks in Ireland who could read and write and had books, and they preserved a lot of the knowledge of civilization because they were so far away from Rome that when things finally settled down after the Dark Ages, there's a book called How the Irish Saved Civilization, and it's because they were able to read and write and retain some of the books. Well, back in 1798, there was the Irish Rebellion, and that was back here in America in 1776. We rose up against the British and basically kicked them out of here. Well, the Irish tried the same thing in 1798, except they didn't win. All they had to fight with mostly were pikes, which are pointy sticks, against the English guns. And England was so much closer to Ireland, they didn't have a chance. And that gave rise to what are known as the rebel songs, which are the songs that people like the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem introduced to America. Tell me, Sean Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush, my boy, now hush and listen. And his eyes were all aglow. I've hear orders from the captain, get ye ready quick and soon, for the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. Oh, then tell me, Sean Farrell, where the gathering is to be, in the old spot by the river, right well known to you and me. One word more, a signal token, whistle on the marching tune, with your pike upon your shoulder, at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, with your pike upon your shoulder, at the rising of the moon. There along that shining river, that dark mass of men were seen, far above their shining weapons, on their old devoted tree. Death to every foe and traitor, forward strike the marching tune, and hurrah, me boys, for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. 'Tis the rising of the moon, it's the rising of the moon. Hurrah, me boys, for freedom, it's the rising of the moon. How well they fought for dear old Ireland, how bitter was their fate, what glorious pride and sorrow fills the name of 98. Yet thank God while hearts are beating, each man wears a burning wound, we will follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, we will follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, we will follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon. So, because of the Troubles, a lot of Irish came here to America. And my friend Skip Jones, his grandfather came from Ireland, and his grandmother came from Scotland. And he decided to write a song for his grandparents. But he did what a lot of folk singers do, and that's he borrowed words from an older song. So you might not know the verses to this song, but you probably all know the chorus. It's called Grandpa's Lullaby. Out of my childhood memories, I remember well the voice of that white-haired man, the stories he would tell about growing up as a boy on an island in the sea. Then he'd pull me close to him, sing this song for me. He'd sing, Tooralora, 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 hush, don't you cry. He'd sing, Tooralora, 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 that's an Irish lullaby. He left his home and his family, a lad of 17, sailing for America, following his dream. It was there he met and married a pretty Scottish lass. They raised a family as the years went past. They sang, Tooralora, 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 hush, don't you cry. They sang, Tooralora, 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 that's an Irish lullaby. They taught me true honesty, how to grow up strong. These gifts I carry as through life I go along. And though they both have passed on somewhere beyond the sea, every time I think of them, this song comes back to me. And I'll sing Tooraloo-ra, Tooraloo-ra-lie, Tooraloo-ra-lo-ra, hush, don't you cry. And I'll sing Tooraloo-ra, Tooraloo-ra-lie, Tooraloo-ra-lo-ra. That's my grandpa's lullaby. Well, that's kind of a sweet story about coming here to America, but actually it was a lot tougher than that. There was a fellow by the name of Peter Jones who was cleaning out his grandfather's attic, and he found a box up in the attic of letters from his grandfather written to his great-grandfather back in Ireland. And there were 30 years worth of these letters back and forth. So he wrote a song about his family's history from these letters, and each verse is about 10 years apart of how the family's doing. And the name of the song is Kilkelly, Ireland, and that was the postmark on the letters that came from Ireland. That was his hometown. Kind of a sad song, actually. Kilkelly, Ireland, 18 and 60, my dear and loving son John. Your good friend, the schoolmaster, Pat McNamara, so good as to write these words down. All your brothers have all gone to find work in England. The house is so empty and sad. The crop of potatoes is sorely infected, a third to half of them bad. And your sister Bridget and Patrick O'Donnell are going to be married in June. Your mother says not to work on the railroad. Will you be coming home soon? Kilkelly, Ireland, 18 and 17, dear and loving son John. Hello to your missus and to your 4 children. May they grow happy and strong. Oh, Michael has got in a wee bit of trouble. I guess that he never will learn. Because of the dampness, there's no turf to speak of. Now there's nothing to burn. And Bridget is happy you named a child for her. You know she's got 6 of her own. You say you found work, but you won't say what kind. When will you be coming home? Kilkelly, Ireland, 18 and 80, dear Michael and John, my sons. I'm sorry to give you the very sad news. Your dear old mother passed on. We buried her down at the church in Kilkelly. Your brothers and Bridget were there. You don't have to worry, she died very quickly. Remember her in your prayers. And I'm so glad to hear that Michael's returning. With money he's sure to buy land. For the crop is a failure and people are selling at any price that they can. Kilkelly, Ireland, 18 and 19, my dear and loving son John. I guess that I must be close on to 80. It's 30 years since you've been gone. Because of all the money you sent me, I'm still living out on my own. Michael has built himself a fine house. Bridget's daughters are grown. And thank you for sending your family picture. They're all fine women and men. Oh, you say you might even come back home to visit. love to see you again. Kilkelly, Ireland, 1892. My dear brother John, I'm sorry I didn't have time to write sooner, that our old father passed on. He was living with Bridget. She says he was cheerful and happy right down to the end. Oh, you should have seen him playing with the grandchildren of Pat McNamara, your friend. So we buried him down alongside of Mother, down in the Kilkelly churchyard. He was a fine and feisty old man, considering his life was so hard. But it's funny the way he kept talking about you. He called for you at the end. Why don't you think about coming to visit? We'd love to see you again. The thing that's neat about that is it's a true story, because it actually came from family letters. Well, it said right in that song that his mother said not to work on the railroad. And if you were an Irish person coming here to America and you needed to get a job, well, chances are you were going to get the bottom of the ladder job, which back in the mid-1800s was like digging ditches in London. You worked on the railroads. Matter of fact, it was mostly Irish immigrants that built the Transcontinental Railroad in the 1860s, at least up to the Rocky Mountains. It was the Chinese immigrants that built it from the Pacific coming east. So you might sing a song like this. In 1841, I put my corduroy breeches on, to work upon the railway. Fill-a-me-o-re-o-re-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1842, I left the old work for the new. Was bad luck that put me through to work upon the railway. Fill-a-me-o-re-o-re-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. It's Pat do this and Pat do that without a stocking or cravat. Nothing but an old straw hat to working on the railway. Fill-a-me-o-re-o-re-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. Well, songs change over time, and this one changed into a song you might even know. I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morning. Can't you hear the captain shouting? Dinah, blow your horn. Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah, strumming on the old banjo and singing fee-fi, fiddly-I-o, fee-fi, fiddly-I-o, fee-fi, fiddly-I-o, strumming on the old banjo. Well, even here in Wisconsin in the mid-1800s, you could see stores that had signs in the window that said, "No Irish need apply." And, I mean, that's not surprising. Even the people who are immigrating to the United States nowadays still get the worst jobs, and a lot of times are not even allowed, to participate, to be in the stores. Well, somebody took that line, "No Irish need apply," and wrote a song about it. I'm a decent boy just landed from the town of Ballyfad. I want a situation and I want it very bad. I sees employment advertised, it's just the thing, says I. But the dirty notice ended with, "No Irish need apply." Oh, says I, but that's an insult, so to get the job I'll try. I goes to see the man who writes, no Irish need apply. Some think it a misfortune to be christened Pat or Dan, but to me it is an honor to be born an Irishman. Well, I started out to find the place, I finds it very soon. I sees an old man sitting there a-reading the Tribune. When I tells him what I comes for, it's in a rage he flies. He says, you are a paddy, and no Irish need apply. Well, I feel my dander rising, and I'd like to punch his eye, to tell an Irish gentleman, no Irish need apply. Some think it a misfortune to be christened Pat or Dan, but to me it is an honor to be born an Irishman. Well, I couldn't stand no longer, so a hold to him I took. I gave him such a welting as he'd get at Donnybrook, and he hollers Mother Mary to get away his try. He swears he'll never write again, no Irish need apply. Oh, he makes a big apology, I bids to him goodbye, saying the next you want a beating, right, no Irish need apply. Some think it a misfortune to be christened Pat or Dan, but to me it is an honor to be born an Irishman. Well, there's a lady by the name of Jean Ritchie who grew up in the Appalachian Mountains, and her grandmother taught her to play this traditional instrument. It's called a dulcimer, and this was invented up in the Appalachian Mountains. Matter of fact, most of the rest of America didn't even know about this instrument until Jean Ritchie went to New York and sang those old Irish and Scottish folk songs playing this instrument. And she was very popular because she was doing stuff from like 300 years ago on an instrument that most Americans hadn't seen. Well, when I was growing up in my backyard, my father had a bush that he called the Bells of Ireland. And it had green flowers, and the flowers hung downward like little bells. So I know what this song's about. Jean Ritchie had the same kind of plant in her yard, and she wrote a song about it. And the reason that plant was there is because her great-grandmother carried the seeds in her apron pocket here to America. These are the bells of Ireland that in my garden grow. My great-grandmother brought those seeds from Ireland long ago. And the music, it is sad and wild like orphan angels sing. If you listen with your heart, you'll hear the bells of Ireland ring. My mother's father had the look of Ireland's heroes old. Great broad shoulders, raven eyes that pierced into your soul. My father's mother's face was a map of the roads her feet had known. Rose of the world's my name for her. I love her dear old soul. These are the bells of Ireland that in my garden grow. My great-grandmother brought those seeds from Ireland long ago. And the music, it is sad and wild like orphaned angels sing. If you listen with your heart, you'll hear the bells of Ireland ring. Well, I've never been to Ireland, though I dream of its cool green shore. I think I must have lived there some centuries before. I weep for the tears and the blood, oh yes, I tend my garden well. The sweet green bells of Ireland will outring the bells of hell. These are the bells of Ireland that in my garden grow. My great-grandmother brought those seeds from Ireland long ago. And the music, it is sad and wild like orphaned angels sing. If you listen with your heart, you'll hear the bells of Ireland ring. You must listen with your heart to hear the bells of Ireland ring. tuned into the radio or the TV on St. Patrick's Day, you probably heard a lot of what we call Irish songs. And I'm going to sing 4 of those. And fair warning, none of these songs were actually written in Ireland. They were written other places, including America. The first one was written by a Jewish guy by the name of Yip Harburg in 1949 for a musical called Phillian's Rainbow. I hear a bird, a Makem or a bird. It seems to me it's bringing me a cheering word. I feel a breeze, a river shining breeze. It well may be, it's followed me across the sea. Then tell me, please, how are things in Glockamora? Is that little brook still leaping there? Does it still run down through Killicay, through Killadale, Kilkerry and Kildare? How are things in Glockamora? Is that little willow tree still weeping there? Does a laddie with a twinkling eye come whistling by? And does he walk away sad and dreamy there, not to see me there? So I ask each weeping willow and each brook along the way, and each lad that comes a whistling tourelay. How are things in Glockamora this fine day? The second song was written by a school teacher in Illinois for his wife, who was German. I will take you home, Kathleen, across the ocean wild and wide, to where your heart has always been, since first you were my blushing bride. The roses all have left your cheeks. I watch them fade away and die. Your voice is sad whene'er you speak, and tears bedim your loving eyes. Oh, I will take you back, Kathleen, to where your heart has always been. And when the fields are fresh and green, I will take you to your home, Kathleen. The next song was written by an Englishman to an Irish tune, and it's very popular in Northern Ireland, but not so much in the Republic of Ireland. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountain side. and all the roses falling. It's you, must go, and I must hide. But come you back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. The last one was written for a music hall in New York City in 1912. There's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why, for it never should be there at all. With such power in your smile, sure knows you'd be guile. So there's never a teardrop to fall, when your sweet lilting laughter's like some fairy song, and your eyes twinkle bright as can be. You should laugh all the while, the other times smile. Now, smile a smile for me. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, they'll steal your heart away. One more time. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'll steal your heart away. Well, thank you for having me here today. I'm going to leave you with an Irish blessing that you might have on a refrigerator magnet or something. This was put to music by my friend Bill O'Connor. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun's rays shine gold upon your face. May the rain always bring rainbows with all their hopes and dreams. And may God be there to hold you in your pain. It's a blessing of the Irish, I'm sure you'll understand, that wherever the road may lead you, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. May your blessings be as many as the sands upon the shore, or the blades of the green grass that surely grow. May life bring you laughter and gladness to your heart. May a friend be there when you need to be consoled. It's a blessing of the Irish, I'm sure you'll understand, that wherever the road may lead you, may God hold you the blessing of the Irish. I'm sure you'll understand that wherever the road may lead you, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Bless all here. Thank you much. I'm being good. Happy spring.